Let's try this again. Tune into the clean version. Get that other one the fuck out of here. Pick up and kill it and kill it and kill it. Damn, we got some new shit going on, man. This has been a hell of a playoff run. Right, a real hell of a playoff run. All right, fellas. Way to tune back in, Gator fan. What's going on, buddy? And that you in the dance, my boy. You in the dance to get to the dance. You heard? Man, while we waiting for people to start logging in and tuning into us and shit, man. How you feel? You know, it's been a while. It's been a long time to get to this point in your RDL career. You know what I'm saying? How do it feel to be playing in the NFC Championship, man? Where the hell hit at? Hit up! God damn it. Harris, 2 touchdowns. Najee Harris was the man on the moment of the Bucks this week, scoring 2 rushing touchdowns. Don't know yet. All right. Don't know yet. I can feel you on that. We're taking a humble approach. We ain't gonna talk about nothing until you get to it, until you get to the dance. Is that what we're talking about? Huh? I'm just saying. People might have thought you was retarded. Sat down Joe Burrow, started Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I don't think outside of you, I think I'm the only other person. And I would say Jimbo, maybe, and I would say Jungle because he drafted him. Wouldn't know anything about that kid. And if you know what I know about these high school kids that's now in college, or you know, we've been doing RDL since 17. We're not doing that right now, okay? Sorry, brother. Ain't no come overs right now, dog. What up, kid?
When they supposed to be doing that?
I'm waiting for him to call me back and shit. I'm actually call him back soon as I'm done doing my daily podcast show. So in like 20, 30 minutes, I'm gonna call him back and then I'll call you. Alright. Hey yo, I'm a little mad too, bro. I'm gonna kick it with you, but I'm a little mad. You gonna be pissed off too. So even though I'm telling you, I'm almost thinking about not telling you because I don't want you mad. We'll talk. Let me do this podcast real fast and then I'll hit you back. All right. Pick up and kill it and kill it and kill it. We gotta get back to them segments. The pick up and kill it segments. All right, we starting to load up now. Bucks in the here. What's up, Bucks? Bucks in the building. Building big business. Saw this boy, but he just said some real shit. L gang. All right, fellas, let's get to it, man. I'm not gonna share and keep waiting too much longer. People will start tuning in or they'll watch when they get to it. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna ask you the same thing, Corey. How does it feel, man? You called yourself divisional round shorty or something like that. How I feel, man, to get to be playing in the dance to get to the dance. While you typing the answer that, I'm gonna say something. The pressure on you more than anybody. Now, don't let me put pressure on you, but just listen. The pressure on you more than anybody. You joined us in 18. I think you joined late 18. Yep, late 18. Had them Vikings. You came from Xbox, actually, man. Let's do a little history. This is the type of commissioner I am. I don't just let you on my league. I try to get to know who you are when you come over here too. So again, my boy Corey came from Xbox, dominating Xbox, always playing in the big game and all that shit. I can't remember exactly how he ran into us, but I'm quite sure it was a podcast show or something. Something happened where he met us through online and shit. And he converted over to the PS4, man. And most people that come from Xbox to PS4, if you like me, I don't know why I can't understand a button game. It's real difficult. So like if I play 2K on Xbox, I struggle. Or Madden on Xbox, I struggle because it's just for me the joystick just different to me. Especially when you used to play on one system all the time. But anyway, he came over, man. I remember him joining, and he got in the league, and he's been a member since. And he said things like, this league is good and competition is good over here and all that. But within the process of that, man, the man made himself a dominant, known presence in our league early and fast. But today is a feat for him. I'm quite sure he's played in the NFC Championship before, or AFC Championship, wherever he was at in these leagues. But this feat is different right now, man. You made a sacrifice, bro. You putting the game on your running back hands now, man. And for this, you reaping the rewards of great conversation you had between you and another great player, and it's working at the end of the day, man. You have an opportunity to do something Jungle has done this year for the first time, which is in this league, get yourself to a Super Bowl and then try to have that opportunity to win one, man. Is that pressure on you right now, or is that, that's something you can stand in front of and just, play ball and get to where you got to get to how you got to get to it? You know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna talk about the teams that made the playoffs, right? And then I'm gonna go back. I had asked what rookies y'all thought would be X factors in these games, and that can help you win a game and all that. I remember I talked about that. I will go back and check that and see if some of the guys that we talked about had made any plays in these playoffs. But I'm gonna go to the games from Wildcard. I'm gonna skim through real fast just to see stats and stuff real fast. See if I can see some names that popped up in some of these games right now. So you go to this game. Let's go offensively. Defensively. So you can see some names. Let's go and play ball. I don't turn it over 4 times a game. I have a chance. Yep. Tough playing, guys. Right. So I'm just gonna see sacks. Who's been getting to the quarterback the most in these playoff games? AntHits. All right, that's one game. All right. So I know without even looking, I can go to the Bucks and know Najee Harris has been the dog for the Bucks and his 2 playoff wins, period. Let's just call it what it is. 3 touchdowns in this game, 2 in the last game. So 5 total touchdowns in 2 games for the winners. All right, let's go to the Saints and see who balled out. Actually, the running back for the Saints was balling out too. As oh my God, 28 carries, 329 yards, 4 touchdowns. This is on the 2nd year back too, man. This is big. This is big. So that I would think, Corey, this is a guy you're gonna have to worry about when it comes down to the Saints. Defensively, as always, I know somebody in that secondary was up there, huh? Let's see who got to the quarterback. Who got to the quarterback? Only 1 sack in that game. Divisional round. Chiefs, 56-14. Let's see. Garantino, 151, 2 touchdowns. Look like he played a playoff football game. Holiday. Jesus. Holiday went off on 13 carries. 214, 3. Is this the best running back in the playoffs right now? Something to talk about. But as we saw that, you know, it was Najee Harris. I would say Puka in this game. Lamar Jackson's fucking ridiculous. I hate him. Saints Seahawks. I think this was more of a defensive game. I don't know. Harold went off in this game too. 19 for 138. He held it down. 1 touchdown. Yeah, so when it comes down to the game, the teams that's remaining right now, the running backs, Holiday, Puka Williams, Harold Joyner, and Najee Harris. Who's the best back out of those 4 backs remaining in the playoffs right now? Let's talk about it. Let's get to the stats. See what's going on with these backs right now, man. See what's going on with the 4 backs remaining in the league right now. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right, so I guess we'll stay. Yeah, I think so too, Corey. I definitely think so. All right. Puka with 2,073, 20, but them 7 fumbles is my dark horse, where I look at it and be like, I don't know, cuz that's a lot of fumbles. Let's get to the Saints. Howard Joyner, and as you can see, he had almost 500 yards rushing in 2 games in the playoffs. And 10 touchdowns, 4 fumbles. That ain't bad. And then I do that. Click out. Great. Let's get to the Bucks and the Chiefs. We'll go Chiefs first since they going up. Bucks. Najee Harris, 18 touchdowns, only 4 fumbles, 1360. Pretty solid. And I do it again. You already know. I ain't even gotta tell you why I'm doing that. You already know. Shit, Garantano, 1135. They did it by committee over here, 1075. But then again, when you get to the playoffs, man, I think that he's the most seasoned veteran back over here, and I do believe that Holiday is the best running back left in the playoffs right now. And that's huge right now. So let's get to it. Let's talk about these games that happened from Wildcard to where we at right now. Playoff real talk. Playoff real talk. Here we go. Here we go. And the teams that's left. Playoff real talk. All right, let's get to it. Back to the wild card rounds, man. I gotta put my shit on. Pick up and kill it and kill it and kill it. Pick up and kill it and kill it and kill it. Pick up and kill it. Pick up and kill it. Pick up and kill it and kill it and kill it. All right, so in the wild card round, man, I would say this game, the games of the would have been the game of the week, in my opinion, would have been, man, it would have to be the NFC games. It would have to be between the Bucks, Cowboys, Saints, Vikings. All right, but let's start with game 1 up here. Broncos, Jaguars, man. Let's talk about the game overall. Let's go. So, offensive yards gained 104 to 455 47 rushing yards to 248, 57 passing yards to 207, 11 first downs to 4. Total yards 466 to 155. Turnovers 2 to 4. Time of possession was pretty much even. The tell of this game really to me came down to the fact that even though DJ Ugalele is a rookie quarterback in these playoffs, I think starting N'Kosi Perry in his like fourth start, if he was even his fourth start, third start or something like that, so he started him late, and playing him in that playoff game, I think it dumbed down his entire offense and kind of made it hard for him to do anything. Them rookie quarterbacks, especially if they don't have at least 8 games of game experience, is going to really play like a rookie. So I think that was the difference. He was throwing a lot of balls in the dirt behind people. Just wasn't on, man. The stage was just too big for this guy. Even though he did throw a touchdown with the 3 INTs, he was sacked 7 times. Killed him. And then by the time you went to Ray Skywalker, it was way too late at this point. So the damage was done there. So DJ played pretty solid at 112.4, rating 254 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 INTs. He was sacked 5 times. And again, that Broncos front 7 is crazy good. So 14 for 20, 70%. In the run game, Puka 7 carries, 151, 2 touchdowns. He averaged 21.6 yards a carry. That was big. The Broncos never really got it going on the ground at all. 12 carries, 30 yards, 2.5. That's not going to cut it in the playoffs. Amari Braxton, 2 carries for 8 yards. That's pretty much it. But that's not going to cut it at all in the playoffs. And E.J. Smith hasn't played all year as a rookie and got in this game and had 9 carries for 60 yards and a touchdown. That was pretty solid. In the receiving game, Sheldon Work is Sheldon Work, man. 2 catches, 101 yards, 50.5 yards a catch, 1 touchdown. Derek Stingley drew his attention and guarded him all game long, man. Again, we saw Sheldon get past Stingley a lot, but just didn't have the quarterback that can get him the ball, which probably was one of the most frustrating things I saw. But if you look at the stat line at the end of the day, Stingley did his job over here, man. I can live with 2 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown, especially when we get to the stats of Stingley. The tight end played pretty well, Darnell Washington. I think this is my X factor of my entire team right now. He's big, man. 6'8", big body, 2 catches, 61 yards in the teat. 2-2, 3 for 77 and a touchdown. Jabari Pratt, 2 catches, 37 yards and a touchdown. And Puka also scored in this game, so on the ground. So on the ground and in the air. Defensively, again, man, I tell you, if I just look at the Broncos as a whole, when it comes down to getting to the quarterback, man, he got the best one of the best D lines in the league, man. But VG Gonzalez, he only had 1 sack, but he was disruptive. He hurried the quarterback damn near the whole game. And Deion Bates benefited from some of those hurries with 3 sacks. Get to it. Terrell Reeves, even though you see 2 interceptions from him, he was the Achilles heel of this team. He got picked on everywhere in the run game, passing game. Like, he just had a bad game. We stayed away from Deuce. We actually stayed away from Deuce Ramsey. We really didn't try him at all because we knew he was a shutdown. He was their best corner, but we went away from him. But this guy right here really got it. He got took it to the woodshed for real. Like, he really played a bad game, man. And, Stingley, 3 tackles, 2 INTs. One of those INTs was just late, game over, a couple seconds left, and they just tried. Let's go, man to man, no safety over the top type shit. Game already over. Let's see if my player better than yours. And we made a play. All right, so that was that game, man. Ended up being a 51-10 score. Jacksonville wins that game, moves on to the divisional round. And then in the Bucs-Cowboys game, this was a big game because we're dealing with the GOAT right now. The GOAT comes out and he is dethroned. And everybody in the NFC that made the playoffs had one thing on their mind, and that's making sure they knock the Cowboys out of going to about their 9th straight Super Bowl or some shit. So you look at the stat line, 327 total yards offense, 243 for the Cowboys, 150 in the run game, 71. The game was won right there. 177 in the passing game, 172, 13 first downs to 7. Again, when you got 150 yards to 71, that results in the 13 first downs. 366 to 269. No turnovers from the Bucs, and 4 for the Cowboys in this game, man. Time of possession, the Bucs dominated this game with 18 minutes and 50 seconds versus 9-10. So he completely controlled this ball game, and he put it on one player's back. And even with that, Stewart still had 143.9 rating, 189 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Now, De'Aaron King, and we know he's one of the top young gunners growing up in this league, 172 passing yards, 71.7, but the 2 touchdowns versus that 4 INTs, that kind of killed in turnovers. That was the turnover game right there. Tua was sacked twice, 10 for 13, 76%. He had a pretty good day. He did what he was asked to do. He didn't have to do too much when he also delivered when he had to. But this game gained out of 24 carries, 117 yards, that 5 yards average. 3 touchdowns is where the game came at. And then Adric Lockley pretty much got shut. 11 carries, 52 yards, 4.7. And then Tua also scored on the ground, so that was big. And the passing game, the tight end, 3 catches for 80 yards. No production really there because I don't think no one scored. Mekhi Pittman. So, I mean, again, this game came out of time of possession and running the ball, so we really not going to spend too much time on the stats here right now, though. But that's how that game went. I didn't watch this game, and I'm mad because I said I wanted to watch all the NFC games this year, man. I wanted to see what was going on over here, but I will say this, man. The game's over. Jungle's dropped out in the wildcard rounds. First time he played in a wildcard game in a long time, too. Maybe that was the effect. He hasn't played in a wildcard round ever. I don't think this guy always got a bye or waiting for somebody to come play him, man. He had to play right away, man. The Bucs got over the hump, man. I mean, this was a big win for the Bucs. You know what I mean? This guy knocked the Bucs out of the playoffs plenty of time and put big scores up on him right now. So for him to come out and pull this win out, that was huge right now, man. And he finally, committed to some running the ball. And by doing that, you stopped yourself from turning the ball over, and it completely worked for you. And it shows, look, man, get with the program. You get with the program, you can really show, all right, well, I'm just as good as these guys. I've just been being hard-headed. Just that simple. Because for the guy that got the crown to be where he at, he understood the same thing. He was just like you, a passer. And he realized, fuck all that passing shit. This game ain't built for that. Let's run the ball and play safe and do what we got to do to win the game. Simple as that. And you came out and you did that. So good job. Bucs moved on. And don't sleep on them Cowboys. They'll be right back in the mix. All right, so the Titans-Patriots game, this was the most intriguing game to me. I was really waiting on this game because I thought the way these two teams matched up, the score shows me exactly what I thought. You can't throw the ball on Onk at all, especially if he set it up. If he set it up, he's probably the best blitzer in the league when it comes down to sending pressure. But again, when you sacrificing the blitzing your entire game, not saying he did that this game, but when you do that, you can shut the pass down, but can you stop the run? And the fact that Hillberger has the leading rusher in the league for the last 2 seasons, I thought this game matched up pretty even. So we got a 14-6 game. Patriots did pull the win out. But let's dig deep and see what happened in this game. Now, you're dealing with a guy that's kind of been there before, whether it's our league or other leagues, played in playoff games, so that pressure wasn't there. But Hillberger is playing in the playoffs for the first time. So I think the pressure was there, but he had the team to do it to be able to get here. So let's look at this storyline right now. 213 yards to 208. That was pretty even. Again, look at the rushing game. 161 to 39 yards. 169 passing yards to 52. 12 first downs, 7. I'm trying to figure out where this game was lost at. I mean, just by looking at this right here, you would think the Titans should be winning this ball game, man. So you're producing the yardage and the first downs, but it wasn't turning into none. That's why you see 0-0 in the first quarter and 3-7 in the second. So that means he just couldn't put the ball in the end zone or get any points at all. So 251 total yards versus 227. Both of them had 1 turnover. And then time of possession was straight even Steven across the board. So, all right, so this game came down to the Patriots scoring in the second and the third quarter, and the Titans never scored a touchdown at all. So the defense pretty much for the Patriots did what they had to do. 110.2 from Jamie Newman, the most underrated young quarterback that we not talking about. 2 touchdowns, 1 INT, was sacked twice. In the run game, Fred Taylor did what he do, 14 carries for 151 yards, but no touchdowns, which hurt him. The receiving game, Higgins, 2 catches, 75 yards, 1 touchdown. And Antonio Brown, no touchdowns. Antonio Brown scored 1 on the sequence. They go to shot play. Hillburgers was warned about this. You're going to get shot played. Do not give up a shot play. When I see a catch, one catch for 61 yards in the T, you got beat for the shot play. And then the tight end Ben Coach with 2 catches, 21 yards and a touchdown. That was the 14 points right there. Defensively, again, I like both of these teams in their defenses. Let's see who we had any sacks. 2 sacks from Andrew Tippett, 1 from Jonathan Flo, and Ray Barner had 1. Josh Allen had 1. Willie McGinney had 1. AntHits, both Ray Barner with 1, and Lamar Jackson, the cornerback, had 1. And that was that game, man. So that made the Patriots move on to the divisional round, and we get to one of my favorite games that I watched. I like this game. The Minnesota Vikings, Coach McCoy versus Gator fan and the Saints, man. Let's get to it. 371 total yards gained at 328. 327 rushing yards to 199. And this game was, I'm the real McCoy. I'm the runner over here. And we deemed, before McCoy came back, we deemed the Gator fan as the guy that, our new runner, our new McCoy, we was calling him over here. Well, in this game, we said, nah, I'm the new McCoy for a reason. I ain't the new McCoy. I'm Gator. I came over here doing this shit. I ain't know you. Don't know who you are, who they talking about, but I know I run the ball, and he sure as hell showed it. 327 yards rushing right there to 199. 44 yards passing, 129. McCoy is throwing the ball this Madden a lot better than he has in previous Maddens, but they both got 8 first downs. Come on, Pat. What up, Pat? Huh? Yeah, I'm doing a podcast show. All right, yeah, I got you. All right. Because versus Falk, you can't either stack him down box, so he gets a lot of space to run. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree with that. All right, so back to this game. 8 first downs we was at. So 371 total yards gained to 457. This game with 3 turnovers to 1. I don't know how this game turned like this. So you look at the quarters, 3-0, then it was he exploded in the second quarter, 21-10. And then McCoy came back and had a 10-0 third quarter, but then fourth quarter, Saints had a 10-0 game, so 34-20. I see it right now. Time of possession, it was even Stevens across the board. And I showed this earlier. So, all right, 38.4, 37.4, 141, 3 INTs. Neither one of these quarterbacks with touchdowns, but they didn't have to win the game for them. Harold Jordan, 28 carries, 329 yards, 11.8 yards a carry, 4 touchdowns. That Minnesota defense did not stop the run at all, because Clinton Valentine, he did pretty solid, 17 for 178, 2 touchdowns. He was balling too, so it just came down to, the Saints willed their way into a victory right here, man. Passing game was kind of brief, which is expected, but Jordy Brooks had 9 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, who got to the quarterback. Tavius Jackson from Florida State did have a sack, and when it comes down to interceptions, Donnell Sapp, the veteran corner, Dennis McDougal, middle linebacker, and James Guy, the safety, and Thomas Graham. The Saints got corners and DBs for days, so there's always somebody popping up doing something over here, man. Good job. The Saints move on to the divisional round. All right, so that was the wild card rounds, fellas. We get to these divisional rounds. Seem like the games got very interesting over here right now. So we stop and we stay right here. Patriots, Chiefs. Those Chiefs came out 56-14. This shit wasn't even close. I know the score looks ridiculous, but they played a fun game. I watched this game. It was a fun, good game. Just the Chiefs was really dominant in this game, man, for offense and defensively. 206 yards for the New England Patriots to 493. 26 rushing yards. Not going to cut it in the playoffs, not being able to run the ball. He escaped the Hillburgers game with 33 rushing yards, but he's not going to escape this game with 26. 342 yards rushing on the ground for the Chiefs, and he did that through three players. 180 yards, offensive yards pass to 151, 4 first downs to 10, turnovers 3-1, time of possession it was even Stevens. So the players of this game was Garantano, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, no sacks either. 10 for 13. Now for a guy that gets to the quarterback, for him not to be sacking Garantano, that tells you something right there, man. Oh my God, 10 for 13. 76% versus Jamie Newman with 47%. Jesus. And the run game, Clifton, 13 carries, 214, 3 touchdowns. Journey Brown, 8 carries, 77 yards. Now they gashed the New England Patriots in the run game. Touchdown. Garantano has 639 and a touchdown, and then Salvan Ahmad 926, 2.9. He averaged 3.4 yards a carry on the season as it is, and he was under that with 2.9. So that's big. In the passing game, T. Higgins 3 for 179, 2 touchdowns. Them shot plays is real over here. But if you live by the shot play, you die by the shot play. Bo Rice did have 6 catches for 78 yards and a touchdown. Calvin 1 play touchdown, 139, and a woo baby touchdown. You know what I mean? That was that. Defensively, yeah, Asante Samuels had 7 tackles over here. Let's see who got to the quarterback the most. Luke Kuechly Jr. 2. Simeon Rice always get to the quarterback. Sack leader right now, 2. Brent Barnes got there. George Karlaftis, somebody that was a dog in the first draft. A couple of drafts ago, but wasn't really playing over here, just redshirting, and now he got action out of him. AntHits, do we have any? Oh, Isaac Taylor Story saying, not so fast, my friend. You talked about these young corners and Tyson Campbell and Amik Robinson and Derek Stingley, but you're not mentioning my name, and I'm right there doing the same shit y'all doing. Isaac Taylor Story, if not the fastest corner in the league, one of the top speed corners in the league, had 2 AntHits in this game. Brent Barnes with 1. Chiefs dominated this game, and then they sat and said, who are we going to play in the championship? Are we going to get the Jags again, or will we possibly get the Ravens, who everybody thought was going to get to a Super Bowl this year? So we slide over to the Bucs-Panthers game. This was the last game we saw. This was a hell of a game, bro. 9-0 for a long time. And then late, the Panthers scored 2 touchdowns. And with under a minute to go, man, this game got nuts. You got a pass interference on 3rd and forever, and he called a pass interference to put these guys to the 1-yard line. And on the 1-yard line, 1st and goal, it took him the 3rd down to get a controversial touchdown to win this ball game right now. 15-14. Hell of a game. Again, the Panthers played the best football over here all year. You know, so by that, seeing that, we would say, oh, they're the favorite to get to the Super Bowl. But I knew what a lot of people should know is that he's super young over there, and I didn't, you know, I wasn't saying he wasn't going to win. If he won, he won. But I thought he would have a problem trying to win over here because of the playoff system and how things go on as Madden with the young players. But he held it down 14-15 and lost a very controversial game. But that made the Bucs go play in the NFC Championship. And then you get to the Jaguars-Ravens game. This game, fucking, oh God. I didn't like this game at all. It was terrible, but that's what happens when you got to play Lamar Jackson. You got to find a way to dig deep and bring it out of you. So offensive yards gained 614. Neither one of us stopped the run game whatsoever. Again, 614 yards rushing. Offense total for 434. 505 rushing yards for the Jaguars to 291. 109 passing yards to 143. 19 first downs to 11. 705 yards total to 507. 1 turnover apiece. And time of possession 1930 to 1021. It looks like it's nothing but explosions going on over here, but it really wasn't. This shit was the Lamar Jackson show and the Jacksonville's run game. That's all it was. Lamar Jackson, Jacksonville's run game. 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 That's how this game went last night. So let's talk about it. We know he ain't do shit in the passing game, but neither did the rest of these quarterbacks. 95.8. He threw 1 pass, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He was sacked once. He made 1 completion and 1 out of 2 attempts here. Bryce Young did throw the ball 4 for 7. A little bit more, 73 yards. Ugalele played like a rookie this game, 51.6 QB rating. That sucks. That's terrible. 118 INT. And he was 4 for 9, 44%. It's terrible in the passing game. So once that went away, it came down to one thing and one thing only. 32 carries out of Puka, 305 yards, 3 touchdowns. 16 carries out of Lamar Jackson, 267, 5 touchdowns. 16 carries out of Noah Cain, 198, 3 touchdowns. Bryce Young, 2 for 17. McIntosh, now the starting running back on this team, had 1.8 yards to carry. fullback had a carry. So if you really tally up the carries that went down over here, 32, 16, 1. Danner had 50 carries over here, 50 run attempts over here in this ball game. I mean, it came down to that. It was Lamar Jackson on a jet sweep power to the crib. Jacksonville, 8-play drive, touchdown. Kick the ball off. Lamar Jackson on a jet sweep power, touchdown. Jacksonville. Stretch left, dive left, power left, inside zone left. Everything was left. The left side of that line beat up Chase Young. We ran at Chase Young the entire second half. Instead of running away from him, we got to hear, Chase Young, best player in the league. We just beat him up with our big guard. Had him pulling and tearing his ass up all game long. And our big tackle, Peters, over there. And we just ran right at his ass and gashed him for down there 600 yards rushing. And Noah Cain played big in this game. But again, Lamar Jackson, every time he touched the ball in the second half, it was a long run or a touchdown. It was ridiculous. Nobody want to play them type of games at all. And you look at the receiving game, T. Black did score on a bomb in the first half. And there was no production nowhere. But I will say this, Denzel Mims in overtime on 3rd and 12 made a hell of a catch to keep the drive going. So the next play, Noah Cain took that shit about 70 for a touchdown, game over. Walk-off home run. But Denzel Mims, the guy that I don't want on my team anymore, made the play to make us move on to the AFC Championship game. Let's go look at the defense. They don't show pancakes, but we had a guy that had 7 pancakes when the game was over, and we showed the stats. Defensively, Dallas Gant was getting picked on as well, but he did have 9 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. Chase Young, again, he kind of got shut. Flo had a sack. John Lynch Jr. had a sack. And when it came down to INTs, Holiday and Stingley both had INTs in this game. Back to the storyline, bro. We were down 7-0, then we went down 21-10. Then we came out third quarter and we scored 22-14, and then 10-7, and then 6 in OT. So we came back running the ball. We didn't even throw the ball to get back in this game from being down 21-10 at halftime. We ran the ball and got back in this game. The Ravens can't stop the run whatsoever, but can't nobody stop Lamar Jackson. It's just that simple. So he can deal with you running the ball on him all game long. He just know Lamar can score at any time you give him the ball. So that's that. So I can't wait for that guy to retire, man. Like, you made me went from one of my favorite players to I hate that nigga, flat out. But that's okay. Jacksonville did move on, and they are going to be playing the Chiefs in a AFC Championship game. And then the last game, man, the Civil War, the Rockefeller crew, Saints versus Seahawks, man. It was 2 out of the 3 left, and they balled out 343 offensive yards, gained a 198. Saints dominated offensively right there. 158 in the run game to 91, 185 to 107 in the passing game. 10 first downs to 9, 394 yards to 230, 2 turnovers, 3 turnovers. Time of possession 14. That was still even Steven across the board. Dorian Thompson did have 198 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 2 INTs, 1 sack. The seasoned veteran, McCain, man, he thought he would be able to play well, but he didn't. 149 yards and 3 INTs donated in that game. Joyner held it down, 19 carries for 138, 1 touchdown, telling the Beckwith, this is why they got rid of you, because of me, boy. Beckwith did have 14 carries for 81 yards and a touchdown. James, 1 carry for 14 yards. Receiving game, Jalen Waddle won all 4 catches, 157 and a touchdown. Hayes, 3 catches, but didn't do anything else. No one else scored a touchdown in that situation. Defensively, you're always going to see Roy Mathis' name up there. He's always going to play big. Well, let's see who got to the quarterback. Reggie White Jr. Remember, I told y'all, the seasoned veterans, these guys that were veterans on other teams, will make plays for you in the playoffs. Latavius Jackson, another 2 sacks. Look, Kamara Henderson, another dog. Look, Montez Sweat. All those guys we talked about in that one, in the podcast show before the playoffs started, all made plays for him right now. And then in the secondary, Sean Bradley, the guy he got from Jungle, linebacker from Temple, with an INT, Paris Ford. Reggie Spillman, seasoned veteran. Willie Wood Jr., and then Elijah Blaze balled out. All the guys that usually ball out in the secondary balled out for the Saints right there, man. So Saints pushed forward in a tight game, 17-10, to play in the NFC Championship. So our NFC and AFC championship matchups. We got a new one here. Let's get to it. Conference championship. So you got the Bucks and the Saints, and you have a repeat of the last 5 seasons right now, 6 seasons. Jaguars, Chiefs right now. When we talk about these games, again, it still comes down to the same thing: run game. Run game, bottom line. Run game and defense. Who's gonna play better defense right now? Run game. But whoever can make the most plays in the passing game, I think will win this ball game. Jaguars and Chiefs is gonna come down to Holiday and Puka, and then it also comes down to Garantano and DJ Ugalele. The matchup is even across the board. Defensively, we got a whole bunch of new starters over there for Jacksonville, and the Chiefs got a little mixture, a whole bunch of starters. They both got really good secondaries, both got good linebackers and D linemen. So this could be a war. I think the Chiefs are more of a veteran team than the Jaguars is right now. So I do think that will play a factor into it. But I think this is going to be an explosive game tonight, man. Whenever it gets played. That's our wild card divisional round, and now we are at the conference championship rounds, man. This is what happened in the playoffs. The dogs came to play. These guys are left. 4 teams left before the night's out. It'll be 2, and let's go. With that being said, fellas, once these 2 games get played, I will start to understand when the Super Bowl is going to get played, and we will put the off-season schedule up, and we'll be moving forward, man. Hopefully everybody attend the draft. This is one of the top draft one of the last classes that that we gonna really look at and be like, oh, let's get it. So if you want to build your team, you need to build it now. You heard? AntHits, the franchise guru. Holla at me when you holla.